Hi, this is Arik,
And Aurelia.
and we're here to talk about life and interesting things.
Or so we think, but in the end, you will be the judge of that.
Either way, what we have to talk about is
Ageless!
Alright, so my first question for today is, can you talk about denial?
I'm sure I can. What do you want to know?
Yeah, well, because at the time of this recording, it's Scorpio. Scorpio's like, this year we want to, be very cautious with, how we're proceeding with life. So I guess just kind of like talk about maybe what's one of the dangerous downfalls of denial. Because denial's dangerous, right?
Very, very dangerous. And,
why or how?
Because, denial is pretending that things are different than they are.
Wow.
And so it can be very, very dangerous just on a, very simple earthly example.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, okay, I'm in denial about the fact that I did not learn how to swim.
Okay.
But I deny that because maybe in that moment I want to impress somebody who is there, or, whatever the reasons are at the moment. And is it okay? So I'm going to go into the ocean, and then a wave comes, or maybe there is a little hole in the sand, where it's deeper than it should be. And I get sucked down. Doesn't even have to be a riptide or anything, then it can end poorly. But if I know that I'm not able to swim, I would not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one form of gross denial. And other denials, maybe they do not look that gross, but they all are.
So it sounds like you're lying to yourself, and like you actually believe what you're telling yourself.
Yeah, obviously, because if I wouldn't believe myself, then I would not go into the water.
So, right, because you would know better.
Yeah, I would know better, and I say, oh my God, I'm not going to risk that, to drown just because this other guy is swimming.
Wow, so it's really like you're lying, like you're not. It's like an unconscious part of the brain.
Yeah.
Like function of the brain, not part of the brain. Like it's an unconscious function of the mind.
Yes, it is.
How is that different than ignorance?
Ignorance, I cannot help it. I mean, ignorance is just we all have this inborn ignorance, meaning that in a universe of endless possibilities, there's no way that we can know everything.
Okay, so
we're just
you have to be
ignorant
It's
to
natural.
so many things.
Uh-huh.
And this is also the fun of it, because, then I can learn. But now, let's say somebody's in denial, then at some point, probably a traumatic event, I would say, made them pretend that things are different than they are.
Whoa.
It's a disassociation.
It's so it sounds like it's a pretense. Like
Yes.
you're being pretentious.
Yes.
Like you're pretending.
Yes.
Because it sounds really difficult. Like if you're in a state of denial, or since we're all ignorant, so that's good, and it sounds like it's a natural thing, and it's also a good thing to have, because if you're not ignorant, then you're probably arrogant, because you are ignorant.
Yeah, we're in denial.
Yeah, or in denial. But to kind of be able to tell the difference between am I in denial or am I ignorant? That sounds kind of difficult.
I don't think that anybody will ever able to tell that they are in denial just by themselves. It's just not working that way.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
There always has to be a second party. How, personally between the two of us, I say, well, I have your back and you have mine. And so this is part of,
I'm lucky.
Yeah, protecting each other from being in denial, because I cannot see my back.
Yeah.
unless, I have like a whole other degree of mastery where I have a 360-degree view. I need somebody who tells me what's on my back, like what I cannot see, because otherwise I could start to be in denial about what's happening there.
Well, Aurelia, it sounds like you're saying you could be in denial and declare ignorance, but you can't be ignorant and declare denial.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Yes, that's right.
I mean, you can't go both ways.
No, you cannot.
That's intense.
Yeah. And so then if you would say ABC to me, and then I'm like, oh, that's not true, then that's instantly is ignorance. Because I am saying no to the experience of learning something new.
Whoa. Uh-huh. Yeah.
You say it again, and let's say somewhere deep down inside of me it rings true, but I don't want to acknowledge that. Then it's no longer ignorance. Then it's denial. Then I deny that I had a reaction to that. And whenever I had a reaction to something, or I have a reaction, other than that I get curious and want to know, it's already the first stage of denial.
Yeah, or you try to just sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. I pretend that just didn't happen.
Like, that didn't just happen.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He didn't just say that.
He didn't just
She
say
didn't
that.
just look at me that way.
Uh-huh.
Whereas, like what I do is, like, I do acknowledge it, and then, like, my reaction to it, because of course I see what's happening, and then I acknowledge my reaction to it, and then I tell my ego, no, like, don't do that. Like, it's not worth, like, don't engage in that behavior. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And the moment you just acknowledge that there is something, you cannot be in denial anymore.
No, you can't. But you can be ignorant to, like, maybe, like, what that person is doing. Like,
Yes.
it's not even any of your business.
Yeah.
It's like, unless it needs to be part of your business, like, in my case, like, unless someone has hired me to consult or something, otherwise it's not any of my business.
That's right.
But it becomes my business if it's, like, in a healing session or consultation or something like that.
And even then...
And then you can learn, like you're saying, like, you have to learn and explore.
But even then, like, people have paid big bucks for me to counsel them.
Yeah.
And then I tell them what's going on, and they straight up say it's not true.
Yeah, of course. That's on their end.
But that's denial.
That's denial.
That's denial. So they're willing to pay a lot of money to hear what they already know and what their ego wants to agree to.
Yeah.
No, but I have to say, to the good of all of those people, many of them have come back years later and said, you know what? What you said at that time, I really couldn't hear it, but it would keep reverberating, and today I can say you were right.
Yeah.
And so that means, like, these are like these small steps out of ignorance and out of denial.
But what makes you so right?
Well, it's not about right.
Uh-huh.
It's about a certain degree of transparency.
Uh-huh.
Like this story of, like, when you just see part of, let's say, an elephant, like you only see his foot, and you can make up all these stories of what this is.
I already started. I really, when you said just a foot, I was like, oh, like, we're in a circus, and he's going somewhere.
So, but if you have a bigger picture, then you see that this is like the foot of an elephant. So the whole context changes, and then it's not about right or wrong, because from a perspective of that narrow-minded or small view, it's not the foot of an elephant. It might as well be a tree trunk, or it might as well be a box, or whatever you can come up with. But if you have the bigger picture, like your viewpoint is wider, then you see, that's what that is.
But does the bigger picture need that smaller picture in order for it to be big?
I do not understand that.
Yeah, like
does the elephant need a foot? Yeah.
Yeah. But
this detail.
but it doesn't necessarily need the perspective of the person who has a smaller picture. I guess it's like the same way as saying like ignorance cannot claim, like, you cannot, if you're ignorant, you cannot claim denial. But if you're in denial, you can claim ignorance.
Yeah.
Which is like a form of defensive denial.
Yes.
I guess denial is always defensive because
Yeah.
it's protecting me from seeing the bigger picture.
Yes.
Because denial is staying fixed on that small picture.
Yeah.
By choice.
By choice.
Willfully, but it's unconscious.
Yes. And that makes it so difficult.
And it makes it dangerous because
Yeah.
then you only have the small picture and you can't see, okay, yeah, that's a little elephant foot and right there's the guy standing with the rifle or God
Yeah.
forbid or someone
Yeah.
or something, whatever the bigger picture is. And you're blind.
That's right. And this is because whatever you see in that small thing, like triggers something in your brain, like your beloved amygdala,
The
I
big
would
picture
say.
triggers the big picture.
And some part of you is really scared of that and shuts it down immediately. And
Yeah.
this is what makes you blind.
Yeah, that's really intense because I can see what you're saying. Like, this actually is probably part of the pineal, like where the pineal gland is like then something triggers you, something small, like the elephant's foot, and it triggers that you are not looking at the bigger picture, which means that you're in danger. The amygdala kicks in, fear, threat, danger, escape, submission, freeze. I'm scanning which pattern has kept me safe in the past, and I'm going to pick that to protect me now.
And in that case, like I put my hands in front of my eyes and then I don't see it anymore and I think I feel safe.
And that keeps me safer than actually saying, oh my God, I don't have the bigger picture and I'm going to look for it.
Because you know what this intrinsically means? It means change.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we had to fire an employee recently. And now this person, by all means, was behaving so blatantly wrong, I guess. Like, we got complaints from customers and he was lazy. And we told him many times, okay, ABC, that has to change. Yes, for many months. And if anything, the situation got worse rather than better. And so we had to say, okay, that's really, really not working. We just
took advantage of our generosity.
All chances have been used up. And so now we have to terminate. And when that happened, believe it or not, that person totally, honestly, believably did not know why.
Yeah.
And that's denial. And so this is part of what I mean, because acknowledging this and wouldn't have to acknowledge it even before that situation, that would have meant change. But because for whatever reason, like that person or anybody in denial does not want to change because change seems to be so frightening, I rather pretend that all of this is not happening.
Yeah, I really didn't know where to put that. And not only in this incident, but I've had other situations where it seems I've kind of like been the rude awakening or like the tower experience for others, knowing or not knowing that I'm doing that. And in the situations when I am knowing that I'm doing that, and then I get a reaction like that where like they have no idea what's going on, like, and they're like really like this innocent victim with these doughy eyes, and I have no idea, like I'm a deer standing in the headlights, and it's like, hey man, those headlights have been coming for like 20 minutes in slow motion, and now the bumper's on your antler. Come on, like I really still struggle with putting this into a place that's like, I don't understand that. And that's like why I'm asking this question, because it's like, it's really intense.
Yes, it is. And for somebody who is on the path of transformation. And even though, this can be like a totally nondescript situation, it's just you are a person who likes to change. And this can just be because you're naturally curious, or even if it's a kind of weird motivation, like you're easily bored and you want a new experience.
Yeah, planets or my eighth house.
Yeah, it's really, it does not matter the cause. It's just that you say, okay, somewhere along the line, I have realized that change is the only constant.
It is.
What's it called? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to be part of that, and I'm not afraid of it because, no matter what, it's like change is going to happen anyway.
No, actually, for me, it's the opposite. Staying put is more of a challenge than change. But that's just a funny joke. But yeah.
So, but either way, if you have that characteristic, then you cannot identify with denial.
No, I can't. No, and I can just say that because it's like, I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah, and neither can I, because, if I'm in denial, that means that something is really deep down, rotting away inside of me, aging me, where I need to be ageless, causing all kinds of damage, and I really don't want that. So we all feel that something feels not quite right. We all do that.
That's how muscle testing works.
For example, yeah.
Because it's the subconscious. You cannot lie to the high priestess, who is the subconscious.
And so we all know it. And if I then acknowledge that, and I start to be like a detective, like Batman turning on detective mode.
Yeah.
So then I will eventually find out what the cause for that kind of weird, funny feeling is.
I know you love reading all your detective books, but I still stand that Batman is the world's greatest detective.
Okay, I can give you that.
And in talk,
he's in denial about
that. Well, the way things are going, Gotham's going to be a real place, God forbid.
Oh my God, don't say that. I can see that. Oh my God, with all the riots and stuff.
But yeah, because if you think of Arkham City and these are actually really sophisticated stories with Batman.
Oh my God, that scares me. I go into denial about
that.
But
that leads to the next thing. Do you think that the media likes to keep its viewers in denial from the bigger picture? Today, in these days. Mainstream media. Or do you think it's more opening?
I would say they'd like to keep them ignorant.
Oh. Whoa.
Because that's that misinformation that is going on. That's just keeping people ignorant.
Wait, what? How's that even possible?
Well, if I don't even have a chance to get the bigger picture.
To open your mind.
Yeah, so then, I just can't claim
I'm not in denial about my opinions.
No, it's like...
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I work with what I have. And
nice.
I have often seen it here in Germany, for example. When, let's say, President Trump has said ABC. And that he says it... And then you have the German translation.
Oh my God.
And it has nothing to do with what he says, but it's like a soundbite of, something that gives a whole different context. And better or worse, I do not want to even talk about it, but what it reminds me always, and I think I talked to you about this, was when my sister, I haven't talked about her in a long time, so hello, sister. One of her favorite movies of all times when she was little was The Horse Whisperer.
Oh.
And of course, she would only know it in the dubbed version of Germany, because I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but here in Germany, we really don't see American movies because every movie is dubbed with the voices of German actors. Ooh. So of course,
Thank
then
God we have VPNs and stuff.
so then of course you also have to match what they say kind of to their American lips. And so yes, the content can really change drastically. And now my sister was visiting me when then I lived in Los Angeles, and so she said, you have to watch this movie, you have to watch this movie. Okay, so we go and we watch The Horse Whisperer. And here comes the second to last scene, the one scene that really defined the whole movie for her and made it so beautiful. And it wasn't there. It was like in the English original, it meant something entirely different. As beautiful, maybe even more beautiful, but that's not the point. The point is that the whole context of the movie for my sister was changed. She was so disappointed she didn't want to hear about The Horse Whisperer for years.
Wow.
And that's what I mean with misinformation.
Ignorance.
Yes, and there is ignorance because like she could not say, well, I was in
You're not in
denial
denial
about that,
it,
but
dude.
I really didn't get all the information that I needed.
Wow.
And this is maybe a oversimplified example, but I think it stands because it's like the media tells us one thing, but then really
The half
maybe
truth.
another thing is happening. And I may never find out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really intense. Yeah, so it seems like ignorance is, I don't know, like maybe ignorance is kind of like more general and denial is more personal. Because like if we're all ignorant, like as a, you know, each one of us, like we all have our ignorance and stuff, and then but denial is like something that we could be informed about, but we choose not to be.
Yeah, okay, if that's like, if we make that personal, then yes, but I mean, there is also, I forgot what the actual name of that condition is, but there is such a thing as like a whole group, like it's almost like group hypnosis, you know.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like where a whole group is believing the same thing, and if this is denial, then that's, you know, like group denial, then it's not very personal.
Maybe
then
one of our listeners can tell us what it is if they know it. But yeah, it's
because then it becomes like, you know, part of peer pressure then will go inside, or just being like lazy, how you said before, because, you know, you say that, I say that too, and it's
not peer
all,
pressure. No, you just said that.
yeah, I just said that.
Yeah. Really intense.
And so there are whole groups that are in denial. Yeah.
But denial is coming from like but it also can like be coming from like a pattern.
I don't know, explain that to me.
Yeah, I guess it needs an example. Like if somebody doesn't like someone because they remind them of somebody that they used to know or that they know that they don't like. Like say for example, people who have like father or mother issues, then chances are they're not going to like people that are either fathers or mothers or who remind them of their father or their mother.
Yeah, and what are they in denial about? Like the truth
that they have issues with their mother or their father.
Yeah.
Or that they really don't, like it's their denial that doesn't like that other person, not really them. Because
Yeah.
I think at our core we all love and like each other.
Yeah, they would never
But
give
it's
that
just our
person a
programs
chance.
that don't like each other.
Yeah. Yeah. The person would never have a chance.
I think that happens a lot.
I know that happens a lot.
I think it makes me kind of sad that happens a lot, but...
Because, I mean, that's what it says. Like, no matter how many billion people there are on the planet, like, we, as individuals, we basically only always deal with our family of origin.
Wow.
And we see, you know, our father issues, our mother issues everywhere. If there's triangulation, we see it everywhere. It's like that's really...
I had a friend once who had a pretty bad breakup, and then they saw the X everywhere, like in all the people.
I believe that.
I couldn't believe it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can believe it, and I couldn't, so what does that say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can totally see that. So they probably started to treat everybody with disdain.
Whatever
if
their
it was
problem was, like
yeah.
with trust issues,
Yeah.
which I work almost in every session. It comes up like trust issues,
Yeah, so
especially in Scorpio energy.
if you have these kind of issues, then you also, I bet, are in denial.
Wow.
Yeah,
So can you be in denial about your fate or ignorant about your fate?
both.
Mm-hmm.
Both, because first, like you can be ignorant about it. It's
Yeah. What fate?
so exactly. So, but then somehow something kissed you awake,
Or you
and
go into a
realize,
session
and
and you have your chart ready and you say, "Oh my God, that's what I have to do." Well, we're gonna forget about that.
Exactly.
It's like, Cub ego.
Yeah. We deny that for now, and then we take care of it tomorrow. This is one of the famed things of denial. Why do it tomorrow? Or right now I'm so busy, I'll do it on the weekend. And then on the weekend there was this party, and then oh gosh, I thought there was something that I was supposed to be doing. I can't remember now, and bam, gone it is.
Man, taking out the trash, man.
So a situation comes and it reminds you of that, you will push it right out of your consciousness.
It's like something like with denial, it's like you don't want to confront.
That's right.
You just like want to check out. Escape, submission, freeze. Amygdala.
With the pattern, but what you're going to do, you're very likely very aggressive with anybody, should it be a person or anything that brought your attention onto that subject.
Yeah, they attack.
Yeah, because remember, like in the big picture, everything is always in balance. So
yeah, always. That's true. It always is in balance.
Yeah. So you
it's
push
always
it down,
in balance, even if it doesn't seem like it. I know that it's always in balance.
You confront somebody else.
Because if it happens, it's in balance.
We call that acting out.
Yeah, acting out.
Yep.
Being aggressive. So like all people with Alzheimer's or who get demented, like that's a lot of denial.
Yes.
That then they get aggressive, and it's like then everything becomes a trigger, and then they get aggressive with everything.
Yes. And of course, once you have reached that stage, I would sadly think it is too late. But if we're going back to being ignorant about things and really wanting to make a difference with your denial, is then when you start acting out, and then maybe you have a friend good enough that tells you, hey, excuse me, what's gotten into you? Why you're acting like a jerk?
Yeah.
Then you could stop and say, am I acting like a jerk? Oh yeah, I think I do. And why? Why in God's name would I do that? And this is the beauty of how a system is set up. All you need to do is ask.
Yeah.
You will always get an answer.
So the triggers then are triggering us to ask.
Yes.
Like, hey, why is this person triggering, like, this person, like, so next time you're triggered, you say, I'm being triggered to look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
Because I'm in tunnel vision.
Yes.
I'm just looking at the elephant's toenail.
Yeah.
I can start by looking at its toe, then looking at its foot,
Yeah.
and then looking at its cute little calf,
Yeah.
if they have calves.
Yeah.
And, and then, like, opening it up from there.
Yeah.
So the triggers are as inconvenient as they can be. It's all in balance. To transform.
Once again, so here we come back to change. I mean, why would a trigger be inconvenient to me? And you know me long enough to know that I'm not making this up. But when I get triggered, I celebrate it.
Yeah.
Because that, oh my God, like I just hit
Another
something,
piece of the puzzle.
yeah, that needs to be uncovered.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will turn on Batman mode, and I will not stop until my Pluto in the first house has figured it out.
Yeah, I have also have Pluto in the first. I love to investigate and find things out. I sometimes have to turn it off because that's also not good. To always dig all the time.
That's true. That's the difference.
It's also
between...
not good. Like hey, knock it off. Like that's like.
Yeah, you and me were very
that's
different.
just too much now. Because like with myself, I would go why and why and why and why and why and why and why this and okay, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's like, and I've learned that. And it's
Yeah.
been like an amazing vacation from this like interrogation.
Well, that's actually its own form of denial.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How?
See, with me, it's like this. Like, I then ask the question and I get the answer, and then I change. And then that's that. But of course, if I don't want to change, I keep on asking because I feel like, I come to that big, big, big answer.
Oh, yeah, the ego loves that.
That's right.
The ego loves that.
And until then, I don't have to change. So this is its own way of denial. So being able to just accept, this is the answer, and then change that. And yes, it may just be a little step, but trust me, if there's more, it's going to come up.
No, for the ego, it needs to be, like in past life, I was, King Tut, and someone stole my orb, and I had karma with this person who, convinced 10 people to conspire against me, and that's why I have trust issues.
Absolutely, because if it's not dramatic and grandiose, the ego will not like it.
But it's always the truth. The bigger picture is usually hidden in the smaller truths.
Yes.
That makes sense. The seemingly insignificant truths, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So thank you. Then I will totally incorporate that for some more change, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing you, I think you have really changed that a lot. Like, you really stopped that digging thing. But
yeah, I think part of it was like, just like feeling safe.
Yeah.
For a while there, like in the beginning, it's like I have to like know like what is everyone capable of and stuff like that. But like that has totally changed. I've grown out of that. Like I did a lot of work on that, so that's good. But
and that only
trust
works,
and trust issues.
Works once you get out of denial.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like
Absolutely.
like I said, like making these incremental changes, like one little change at a time.
Yeah, and then you build momentum, and it really feels good.
Yes.
That's totally true. Like you make these little changes. It's like cleaning up. Just a little bit here, a little bit there.
Before you know
and it doesn't have to be this big old dramatic thing.
That's right.
Because then that you can really get stuck in the smaller picture with these big little things.
Yeah, like that you want like the hugest revelation, epiphany of all times. Like,
Making mountains out of molehills.
Yes. Exactly.
100%.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
I have the biggest ego puzzle that nobody can ever figure out.
Exactly.
And I'm going to work on it.
Until I do.
For my whole life, to protect myself from really having to change.
Exactly. Beautifully said.
I have this trauma, and don't you dare try to tell me how to solve it.
That's right. And that's denial.
Amen. So, we hope you enjoyed this. Tell us about your experiences with denial, if you can. And, please, of course, be sure to vote. Do your civic duty. We have that going on, and some Mercury direct, and all kinds of good stuff going on. So we are here for you in the comments and whatnot. We are here for you, and you can even head over to my site.
We answer your
chat
questions.
functions. We answer your questions.
We are open to suggestions.
We're open to suggestions and requests. Please do that. We ended Speechless because we couldn't manage it all. It was just too much. But so now we are, we can perhaps leave you speechless at some times during Ageless.
No.
This has been Arik
and Aurelia.
And you've just listened to a episode of Ageless. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are available. And until next time, you guys, stay safe. Bye.